Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic turned full-time energy healer and teacher.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch running my family's crystal shop.
And we're here to explore all things woo through the lens of both science and spirituality so that you can find the moments of magic in your everyday life and create an intentional spiritual practice.
So if that's what you're into, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic.
Hi friends, Molly here. We are coming at you with an episode that is going to sound a little bit wonky. For whatever reason, my microphone decided to add a reverb effect. We've done our best in post to remove it, but we also asked you on Instagram if we should re-record it and potentially lose all of the lore that we developed in this episode because it really is a good one, or if we should keep it and just recognize that it does sound like at points I am standing in the middle of an auditorium speaking to you. And you all said you wanted to hear it anyway. So if this is your first episode with us, just know that I don't always sound like this. And we hope you enjoy.
Howdy doody, friends.
Howdy doody, friends.
It's a howdy doody day. Molly just made like 3 excellent, well-timed, that's what she said jokes, and then immediately we started recording. So if I seem a little flustered, that's why.
That's why.
You know what? This is a great episode for me as you have detracted from my focus with your excellent comedic timing.
Yes.
As today we are going to do some low effort spells for focus. This is something that you guys have been requesting a lot. Can't believe that you're asking these 2 ding-dongs.
Have you heard our podcast before?
Literally. I'm like, do you know who you're asking? Do you know who you're listening to? Have you listened to this podcast before? But you know what? You guys ask and we deliver. That's our job. My job isn't to question what you need.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what? I do what I'm told.
We do what we're told. And you told us you wanted focus, and we said, that's what she said.
I gotta go. My mom called. She said you're a bad influence on me. Okay, before we get started, what was your magic moment this week?
Okay, my magic moment, I've been holding on to this magic moment for a couple of weeks because we have struggled to record because life has been chaos.
Life is lifing.
Life is
sure.
really lifing. Yeah.
It's so funny. The new year comes and I'm always like, this is where I'm going to get some reprieve. You know, the holidays are over. January, February, that's where I really get to lean into the season of winter and rest.
Slow down.
And then life says, fuck you.
Yeah.
Buckle up, buttercup.
Yeah.
Anyways.
My magic moment is I got to take a shower. To put this into context, we moved to this house November 1st, and immediately our water smelled like eggs. Love that for me.
Yum.
Yummy. Makes laundry really fun. The whole house stinks.
Ugh.
And then I was like, okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But then our hot water became more and more sporadic. So let me walk you through what my showers have looked like since November. Okay. I get in the shower and it's lukewarm. And so I rinse my hair and then I put shampoo in and I have to step out because it gets cold. And then I have to sit there for like 2 minutes and then I have to jump in when it starts to get lukewarm because I had 90 seconds to rinse the shampoo on my hair before I step out into the cold again, and then condition and repeat. So that's been something. And then a couple weeks ago, our well pump broke. So we had quite literally no water. No water. And I was like, man, I miss my eggy cold water.
Suddenly the house smelling when I did my laundry it doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, we didn't have water in our house for 4 days. 4 days of toilets not being able to be flushed and showers not be able to be had. Lots of baby wipes were gone through. I literally was at my breaking point on day 4. I was like, I can't. I literally was on the couch with my Kindle and I was like, don't talk to me. Nobody talked to me.
Yeah.
I canceled all of my meetings. I was like, I can't work. I can't do anything. It was like, talk about a wonky route.
Oh, yeah.
My basic needs were not being met. And then we got our water back. And I took a shower and it was warm for 5 whole minutes. And I cried in that shower. I was like, this is the most beautiful and magical experience of my entire life.
I don't blame you. It's like, it's one of those things that you really don't realize what you take for granted until you've taken it for granted and you no longer have it.
It was a true gratitude moment. And it just made me think of like all the places that don't have access to clean water. And I was like, how is that a thing anywhere still in 2025?
Yeah,
it just
how
like,
are we not prioritizing that for people?
Yeah. So anyways, we have water now. Our boiler is getting replaced in the next month, so it will be consistently warm at some point, and I will, I'm sure, have another magic moment where I take like a 8-minute long shower and it's glorious.
I can't wait for that for you.
What was your magic moment?
Oh, God. My magic moment, going back to the wonky route, is that I'm home from Tucson. Oh, my God. I could do an entire podcast episode of like a Tucson debrief because it was
A quart of Molly Madison.
quite the trip. Honestly, a quart of Molly Madison. We asked, you guys said you want it, so we are like maybe in the works of making that happen. As we're talking about how we struggled so much to record our main feed, we're like, you know what we should do?
A second podcast.
Add another podcast. That, again, the nature of who we are as people. But you know what? It is what it is. But Tucson, it was incredible. It always is incredible. Gonna like preface with that. We went for a full week this year. We've never done that before. And it was really, really hard. Like mentally, physically, we bought more than we've ever bought before, you know? Like this is our 4th year.
It was hard for me because Madison's not as present in my life when she's busy.
I cannot. I had to text you and say I love you so much, but I'm so sorry. I cannot talk about anything right now. Like I was you on 4 days with no water. But, you know, this is where we do like our buying for the year. Like the 2 big gem shows that we go to are in are in September and in January, February-ish. Like it's usually end of January, beginning of February. It kind of changes around. So we know that we're not going to have access to this level of shopping until September.
Yeah.
And now this is like we're going into our 4th year in business, second gem show of having 2 stores to shop for. You know, like last time we went, we were just kind of figuring out what it was going to look like to have Spellcrafter. And I loaded over 3,000 pounds of rocks. Jesus. And shipped them here. Had a horror story Airbnb moment. And my mom had to leave early, so it was just Drew and I for like 4 days. And it was like there were so many magic moments like amidst all of that, you know, like the highs and the lows. But really my magic moment was like coming home and getting in my bed and being with my cats. But I did also find the most beautiful statement piece that you guys will have seen if you follow us on Instagram. I posted it on our stories. And so that's like the true magic moment of like something I manifested. I've been manifesting this for 2 years now of I wanted
the chair.
Yeah. If you've ever been to the Healing Hedge Witch, you know that we have these huge, like beautiful amethyst wings. And that's like our little picture spot, right? Like people are always tagging us in their photos that they take there. You know, it's a big fun thing that we have there. And I knew I wanted Spellcrafter to have something similar, but I didn't know what. And I found this chair. It's made out of golden healer and it's in this huge crescent moon shape. I'll post it on our Instagram, like on our feed, if you missed the story. But what I really wanted was a sphere. And if you've ever wondered, if you want to know when like we really made it, you know, like the trend of if I hit the lottery, I'll never tell anyone, but there will be signs. It'll be that I have a big ass sphere, because spheres that weigh 1/10 of what this fucking chair cost, $100,000.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating. I found a perfect sphere. I was like, oh, this is it, Mom. Like we've found it. She's gorgeous. Like it was on this perfect stand. It spun. I was like, this is amazing. You know, my budget is not $100,000, but it's not like I had like a, you know, a $50 budget for this. I was like,
right.
This is an investment for the store, for marketing, because when people post, like it brings us a lot of attention. Anyways, the sphere was $100,000 and I immediately reset my expectations.
I said, maybe the hand of God doesn't look so expensive at this
literally
point.
this sphere was more expensive than the hand of God that we've talked about. But anyways, it was like our last day of the trip. And I was like, okay, like maybe I'm just not meant to have a statement piece, and maybe the statement piece will look like something different. I was never looking for a chair. What's so funny is the chair is the exact same price that we paid for the wings years ago.
Oh, wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that fun? I saved that a little bit for you.
Aw, that's so cute. Meant
So
to
it
be.
was like a perfect full circle moment. And, my mom wasn't there, so I had to call her and be like, look at this chair. And she was like, you have to.
Yeah.
You have
I
to
want
get
one
it.
next year.
I'm not shipping
year.
it.
No. Well, maybe I'll buy my second witchy house in Florida.
Yeah, I can just wheel it over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We have just written out and spitballed for you some of our ideas, things that we use, things that we've thought of that can be good for focus, ingredients you can use for focus, small little like ways to kind of, when I'm looking for focus, I have to like reset my brain. Does that make sense? I have to do like a tiny factory reset.
Yeah, you have to turn yourself off and back on.
For sure. I can't
Yeah.
redirect and get back there.
Yeah, I think that's the ADHD. The task switching is difficult.
Yeah, I got to close all the tabs and start from scratch.
Yeah, and I got a lot of tabs open, and most of them are playing music.
Too many tabs. I've got so many that I'm slowing the computer down.
Yeah. Do you ever do the thing where you try and focus on something and then you end up getting the rest of your to-do list done? You're like, damn, I really needed to do that one thing.
The
that I
one
didn't
thing.
do. Yeah, but you're so productive that you're like, but I cleaned my entire house and read 3 books and I can't send this one email.
I called like 4 different doctors' offices that I needed to talk to, but I'm not like asking for this one thing. Oh, totally.
I did my taxes the other day to avoid sending an email.
Good for you. That is, some would say that's a magic all in its own.
Yes. So anyways, these are spells for focus that we use in those times. You need to do the thing and your brain wants to do anything but the thing. Or I also think spells for focus are good for like when you want to give your full attention to something.
Yeah.
Like rather than sort of like trying to do the email while you're also watching TV, while you're also like juggling 6 different text messages, while you're also recording a podcast. Like, wouldn't you want to give it all your attention and energy?
This is energy that I often like bring to yoga classes. I don't know if you're like this because you have a better yoga practice than I do, but
Better? What is better yoga practice?
I mean, you go more.
Okay, more consistent.
There we go. That's a
There's no
better word.
such thing as better practice.
You're right. By better, I meant more consistent.
Okay.
But for me, when I end up at a yoga class, that's where I've hit like rock bottom of emotional capacity. And so when you give me an hour of being in my own head, because it like at other workout classes, it's easier to like get out of, I'm just in my body, I'm not in my brain.
Yeah.
I have to bring the energy of focus to like focus on my breath. This also doesn't have to be focus on your homework or focus on your work life. Like this can be focus on your body, focus on yourself. Because my brain hears a yoga class and says, oh great, this is 60 minutes to just run some laps. My brain is stretching. My brain is going, yes. What's that embarrassing thing you did 6 months ago? We're going to loop on it.
See,
Shavasana, my ass.
I want to reframe that because if you think about your brain like a computer, okay?
We found our metaphor for the episode, guys.
Right now, I'm staring at you, and in the upper corner is software update. The notification that's popped up every day for the last year and a half that I constantly snooze. And I will not update it until it's fully broken. And the only way I can update it is if I turn everything off. I close everything down, right? And I reset it. And then it can run the updates in the background. Think of the times when you do a yoga class where you meditate and your mind runs as you getting an operating system upgrade. because your brain is so busy day after day after day, it doesn't have time to think through all those things. And when we don't have time to think through those things, our brain thinks that we're running from a tiger, right? And so when you stop, it's almost like you're driving on the highway and you slam on the brakes, all the shit from the back seat comes forward. You need it to come forward so you can sort through it. And then on the other side, once your operating system is upgraded, once you lead that class, once you've had that time of your brain running laps, then you can go, there's a little bit more space here.
Totally. Tabs are tigers.
Tabs are tigers.
Yeah, that is a really good reframe. I think I mostly meant like from the perspective of focus can often have the connotation of being tied to productivity.
Yeah, no.
And I want to give that same level of energy of focus on the things that fill yourself rather than filling something else.
Absolutely. Reading. That's where I do a lot of my focus spells, is when I'm like, the other day I was in a reading rut and I was going between 3 different books, and I was like, I want to read all of these, but when I'm reading them, I want to read the other ones. And when I'm reading the other ones, I want to read the other ones. So therefore, I will not read any of these.
Yeah. I can't read multiple books at once. I don't know how you, like, I can't.
They need to be completely different genres and different mediums. Like, I need a nonfiction paperback and a fiction digital and like a, fantasy audio.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Our podcast?
We should have done one of these before we started. Okay. First ritual that we had, this is one that I really like to do when I'm working, is to light a candle and almost like use the candle as I kind of like Pavlov myself that when the candle is lit, I'm focusing on the one task until I blow it out. And then when I blow it out, I can switch to another task.
Yeah. Yeah. I like to use them like little timers. If you have like a tea light, those last a certain amount of time. We've talked about that before.
Or I do it until I get a full pool.
Oh, that's smart. That's what I do. So I have a candle that's for writing that's how I do it. It's a 7-day candle, so it burns a little bit slower.
Yeah.
So I get like a good hour-ish. And I tell myself I'm like not going to move from here until there's a full pool. 1, it prevents tunneling, so I'm going to get the full use out of my candle.
Yes.
And 2, so that gives me a task within a task, right? Where like it's not some arbitrary like, oh, I'm not going to move until this thing happens. I feel like I'm achieving something by reaching the full pool because that gets me towards its own goal of like the candle gets to not tunnel.
Yeah. And it looks prettier.
For me, focus is really aligned with the colors blue and purple. I think that's just because fluorite is my favorite crystal for focus. And those are the colors that are most often in like my fluorite pieces that I love. But we were writing this out and writing like literally we have written down what color ? For our focus candle. And we've talked about how color magic is very up to interpretation, right? And I have this little trick that I use that I want to share for if I don't, I have like a basic little write out of what each of the colors, quote unquote, means.
Yeah.
If I don't feel super aligned with those colors, I do like a teensy-tiny meditation.
Teensy-tiny.
An itty-bitty, teeny-weeny yellow polka dot bikini meditation.
Okay.
That I do for color magic that I wanted to share with you guys. And I thought maybe we could do it all together for focus.
Yeah, let's do it.
And so then you know what color you're using for your color magic for your tasks if you want to bring a focus spell candle into your life.
Oh my God, this is so exciting. Or you could choose your pen color. You could choose your pen color, your notebook color, the color in your office, the color of your office shoes, the color of your office blanket.
You have office shoes?
You don't?
Shoes that only live in my office?
Yeah, maybe this is a main thing because we get snow, but you wear your boots to work and then you change into your office shoes.
Oh, I was thinking like your home office. I thought you meant like in your life right now you had...
No, I also do that too. I have inside shoes. We've talked about this.
Well, yes, inside shoes, but those are not office shoes. Like they're not shoes that come on and off at the office.
Yeah, otherwise I won't have shoes in here.
But I imagine shoes that you only wore in that room.
Yes. Otherwise, if I leave with them, then I run the risk of walking outside with them.
You take them off when you leave your office?
Yes. And I put my house shoes on.
I understand, like, if you work in an office, because, like, people have Subway shoes. I know about Subway shoes.
Yeah.
I never had Subway shoes because I just worked in athleisure, so I got to wear sneakers all the time. I never had to wear heels. I don't think I've ever worn a heel for more than 45 minutes is something that I was thinking about recently.
So back to the color magic meditation.
Sorry. Us filming this episode on Focus today is really, like, you know what? I need us both. We're going to do this meditation and then we're going to find a candle. And we are going to light it, goddammit. Mostly me. Okay. You're going to put your feet on the floor. Get yourself nice and grounded. Focus on your deep breaths. And then I want you to pull the word focus into your mind. And you're going to embody the feeling of focus. You're going to recall what it was like the last time you were, like, hyper focused on something. And you're going to sit in that feeling. And you're going to wait for a color to come. And you're going to trust that however that color comes to you is right. It could be the word coming to you in that color. It could be a flash of color, a dot of color. You could hear the word. You could hear the name of the color. You could think of an object in a certain color. However it comes to you is correct. And there's no rush to get there. You're just going to keep focusing on your breathing. You're going to breathe in and let it out. And if you have to pause and stay here until that color comes to you, that's totally fine. But when it comes, don't doubt yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Just know that that is your color for focus. What'd you get?
It's so funny because y'all are going to think this was planned, but I got yellow because I kept seeing the creativity and inspiration candle, which is my focus candle when I work.
I got yellow.
Oh,
Fun.
At first I smelled blue and purple, but then I was like, no, that's I'm pretty sure that's my grain because we were just talking about blue and purple, and then yellow came through really vividly.
Fun.
Cute.
I love that I've Pavloved you with my candle.
You have. That's my favorite candle. That is my life hack for focus. I have a creativity sigil drawn on it because when I can't focus on creative work, usually for me, I have a hard time focusing on creative work or a hard time focusing on, like, mundane work, like repetitive work, but never two at the same time. And so when I find myself procrastinating creative work with mundane work, I light that candle.
Well, if you would like to grab one for yourself, we'll leave the link in the description below. The Healing Hedge Witch Creativity and Inspiration Candle.
Use code MAGIC for a discount.
Highly recommend. Maybe because I made it. Speaking of sigils, you can totally draw sigils on your candles that you make. You can get as fancy as you want with your focus candle now that you have your color. You know, you've got your base. You can write the word focus on it. You can draw a focus sigil. You can make you can write out exactly what your task is on your candle if it's big enough. But you can also take those symbols and make them portable. You draw them in an energy drink, or if you are like us, on your ADHD medication.
I don't have ADHD medication, but maybe I should after this episode.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you were on a non-stimulant.
No, I'm on Team Prozac.
Oh, yeah. That'll do it.
Yeah. But I will draw a focus sigil in my coffee or in my tea.
I don't know why. I've only ever used a sigil, like, in a hot beverage that's in a mug. The idea that I could bring that to, like, a can of something, I don't know why. My brain has never made that connection.
Do you ever stir your cans by holding it and you kind of, like, shake the liquid inside?
No. My cans are carbonated.
Okay, well, like a protein shake.
Oh, yeah.
You ever shake it? Shake it in the direction of a sigil.
Ooh.
Or
Love
use your
that.
straw. Get a little straw.
No, but I'll get one.
Draw it into condensation.
That's a good one. Yeah, you wrote that down and I was like, oh shit. To me, that's like a warm beverage activity. I don't know why I've never ever done it any other way.
Yeah, I tend to do it more for warm beverages. I think because I'm mixing something into the warm beverage. So I have the spoon
I've got a
in
spoon
there already. Yeah. If I have a straw in something, then I will often stir. But you're right. I do tend to do it more for warm. And also like warm soups over cereals. Like I don't think I've ever drawn a sigil in a cereal.
You're so right.
Why
Never
are
have I
sigils
ever.
warm?
Why are sigils warm? What are the two shapes?
Oh,
Kiki and
Baba? Kiki and... Is it Baba?
what's the other one? I don't know. I have to Google it. I'm so sorry.
So remember when we made an episode about focus and only 3 minutes of the episode were actual tips and the rest was us fighting the squirrels in our
Guys.
brain?
Booba.
Boop.
It's Kiki and Booba. And you know what? I am Booba and you are Kiki.
Is Booba the soft one?
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I guess we don't know. I guess like that's the whole point of the Kiki Booba effect. But like, you can't tell me that you're not Kiki and I'm not Booba. There are some fundamental facts of the universe.
I feel like I'm a Kiki son, Booba moon. And I feel like you're a Booba son, Kiki moon.
I will take no further questions.
And you guys want a second one of these?
Imagine what we would get up to without the reins of providing metaphysical value.
Maybe we should call it a court of Kiki and Booba.
You guys. Court of Kiki and Booba. Imagine like that, you know those TikToks where it's like, oh, what are you listening to? Someone has to sullenly look up and say, a court of Kiki and Booba.
So let us know if you are more Kiki or more Booba.
And let us know if you agree with me with my assessment of who we are as people.
Or mine.
But you kind of agree.
Kiki son, Booba moon.
But I just said you are Kiki.
Is as a son, but like I identify more with Booba.
We gotta move on.
Okay, anyway. Meditation is the next.
We could use a fucking meditation right now. This is a once in a blue moon where you really get us in our truest form.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
Which
We're
is
recording
not
2
right.
episodes today, which is terrifying. So
Yeah. Next week, you're either going to get another gem or a crash
diamond in the
out.
rough.
Tell me about it. All right, meditation. Let's talk about it.
We literally wrote, and by the way, we wrote this like a couple of weeks ago. We wrote meditation, annoying but works to strengthen concentration.
You know, some truths are unfortunate.
I know. It really does strengthen your concentration. And something that we were talking about earlier, but I'm going to echo back, is the goal of meditation is not to shut your brain up. Mm-hmm. If your brain is busy the entire time, that's actually a good thing. It means you're doing meditation right. Because the goal of meditation is not to shut your brain up. The goal is to start to identify less with your thoughts. Meaning, all those thoughts are taking you for a ride all day long unconsciously. And when you sit down to meditate and all that shit from the backseat comes forward, you're actually noticing and becoming aware of those thoughts. So then in that awareness, you can decide, am I going to get pissed off at this thought? Am I going to follow this thought? Am I going to let this thought go? Am I going to giggle at this thought? Am I going to kiki or booba this thought? And then you just keep going.
Is this thought a kiki or a booba?
Wait, that's a cool meditation. Wait, no, I know you think I'm joking, but there is
I know you're not. That's why I'm laughing.
There is a practice and meditation called labeling, and it is a really powerful way to start to separate from your thoughts. And so you can label the thoughts like worried thought, or nervous thought, or future thought, or past
No, I
thought.
love this. I love this because it is fully arbitrary. Like,
I
there's
know.
no right or wrong. Well, there is,
I
but
know, and it forces you to get curious. So when you notice your thought in meditation, kiki or booba, label it.
I need you to give me a thought, and then I need to know if we agree if it's a kiki or a booba.
Okay. Okay, the thought that I'm having right now is I accidentally composted something that's not compostable this weekend, and I can't stop thinking about it.
That thought to me is booba.
Yes, booba.
See, what a fun game you could make for yourself. Okay, my thought that I'm having is that I left the door open, and so the cats keep walking in or out, and one of them did jump on the desk and started to walk towards the keyboard, and now I'm afraid they're going to do it again.
Kiki.
Great. Wait, I love that.
I really love that. Like, I actually love that.
I love to gamify something. You gotta gamify it. And that is like a fun game that is so good because so in guided meditations where you like imagine the thoughts as clouds and they pass by, that does not resonate with me.
No.
But if I imagine them like they're approaching me like I'm the king.
Mm-hmm.
You're and like it's Kiki my
over
job.
There, Booba over there.
And it is my job to separate them as Kiki and Booba. That can get me into meditation.
If anyone's not familiar with Kiki and Booba, they are these arbitrary shapes. One
Google
is like
it.
pointy and one is round. We'll post a picture on our socials. We'll put it in the episode.
There's just gonna have to be like a scroll over of all of the fucking dumb shit we referenced in this episode. Swipe. What's your favorite thing that we talked about that had nothing to do with the episode?
But yeah, I don't like clouds passing in the sky. Anyways, Kiki and Booba. Sorry. Go off on a different tangent. So Kiki and Booba, there's like this, I think it's like a psychological test or something, but like, does one shape feel more Kiki or feel more Booba? Mm-hmm. And most people assign the sharper one as Kiki and the softer one, rounder one as Booba.
Yeah.
And so we are now using those as adjectives.
Yeah, and now it's become a fundamental truth of our society that one is Kiki and one is Booba.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't like clouds passing in the sky as meditation. I prefer thinking of my clouds like floats on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Which ones do I want to zoom in on? Which ones do I want to glaze over? Where do I take my commercial break?
Yeah. When do I check my phone? You know? Not actually, though, because you're meditating.
Yeah, but when do I check out? It's like some I let pass really fast. Others, I might want to look at, the costuming and listen to the music and whatever. And it's the same thing with thoughts.
I love that. Because it really is. I have a love-hate relationship with meditation that we have discussed at length in this podcast.
We have a whole episode called Meditation Tips for the ADHD Brain, which we will leave a link in the show notes if you want a whole episode where we are actually mostly focused on the topic.
Mostly. It really is true that I feel so much better and my ability for focus is so different when I am consistent in my meditation.
Kiki and Booba meditation.
Listen, I'll be letting you guys know how it goes because I will be putting that into my repertoire.
I'm actually excited to meditate now.
Me too. We'll report back.
We will.
Okay. So now we've got a few little ingredient lists for if you want to do some spell work around focus. For herbs, we've got ginger and mint. And I love these because they can be easily, they're so easy to incorporate into a lunchtime snack spell.
A ginger tea, a mint tea.
a little peppermint candy.
Ooh, yeah, wow, you were. Wait. Yeah.
Are we about to talk
about?
the same thing that everybody's teacher told them in 3rd grade when they were given a little peppermint candy? It was my favorite part of standardized testing.
If you have the same flavor when you are studying for an exam and you have that same flavor when you take the exam, you do better on the exam. That's why in 2015 I had a oat milk latte, decaf with sprinkles, and a cinnamon bun every single time I studied for my personal training exam, which I never took. But I had one every weekend.
I didn't know that was ever even your intention.
Yeah, I learned after studying for an entire year in a coffee shop, I'd spend like 16 hours in a weekend at that coffee shop. I learned I didn't want to be a personal trainer.
You know, sometimes it takes 16 hours a week for many weeks to realize that you hate something, and that's just life.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to do this, and that was the first thing I ever quit. Well,
that's impressive.
Smoking, I guess. But
yeah,
it's the second thing I ever quit.
2 very different things to quit.
It was harder for me to quit the personal training exam.
Yeah, there's a lot of sunk time cost fallacy in both.
A lot of ego. Yeah. Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh, mint and ginger.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 p.m. sleepies, they hit us all.
Mm.
The after lunch, I don't want to be here anymore moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you bring in a mint tea. That's when you bring in a ginger snap.
Gingerbread house.
Sure, that's one way. Make an entire gingerbread house and then eat it on your lunch break. That's the advice that you're being given right now. And actually nothing else that we've said will work. It's only that.
Or you could sprinkle those on your candle, in your candle, around your candle, in a spell jar. Shake it when you need to focus.
In a spell jar. Love that.
And then for crystals, we have fluorite, sodalite, and amethyst. Fluorite's probably my number 1 for focus.
I've had the same piece of fluorite in my office for like 4 years, maybe 5.
Yeah. I love fluorite in the office, or if I'm struggling to focus, I will lie down and I'll put it on my 3rd eye, on my forehead, and meditate for a few minutes.
Well, you kiki and booba.
I know. I was like, I want to see your fluorite, and I want to tell you if it's more kiki or booba.
The truth is, it's in my office somewhere. You know, I wasn't lying when I said it's been in my office for the past 5 years. It's in a box in my office.
My crystals are also not unpacked until I get settled in my office. So
do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah. I do have this dinosaur, orange calcite.
Wow, fun.
And his buddy, Triceratops. Kiki or Booba?
Well, the Triceratops is Kiki.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy is Booba.
Yeah, for sure. What dinosaur is this? It's
you
like
think I know?
It's like a Littlefoot dinosaur.
It's a generic dinosaur.
Long
it's
neck,
if you picture
long tail, soft.
If you picture a dinosaur
body.
in your head.
Yeah, it's a
dinosaur.
It's a Booba dinosaur.
Yeah. If you look up Booba, anyways.
That's our show, folks.
That was our list. And usually I have something that I can say to somewhat wrap it up, bring it all together. But clearly we need these tips today. The universe brought us to record this episode today. We were going to record it last week. We didn't. We pushed it off. Clearly, the universe was like, they're going to need it. They need a reminder.
Yeah. So when in doubt,
Kiki or Booba.
Kiki or Booba. You are the king deciding which thought goes where.
You are the tyrant. Laying down the law.
Let us know in the comments if this episode was more Kiki or Booba to you. And we'll see you next week.
I'm so sorry, but also not. Love you. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. If you want to learn more about us, you can find all our links in the show notes.
We'd love to know what you think of today's episode, so drop us a review or give us a shout out on social media. And don't forget to let us know your magical moment of the week. Okay, love you. Bye.